Hi, I have decided to speak out today, not just as a mum, but as someone who has watched their son being drastically failed by the judiciary system. He was convicted of sexual offences. This was on the strength of hearsay, not on physical evidence. This has come about on the misuse of Scottish laws, specifically sections 274 and 275, and the application of the Murov Doctrine. These laws, while perhaps were created for good intent, have in practice become tools to obstruct fair trials, preventing the accused to a defence, a full defence. We have important evidence that was not allowed to be shown or heard. We had witnesses that was not allowed to take the stand. Myself was instructed to answer any questions with just yes or no, not allowed to elaborate on the answers. This was in fear of upsetting the accusers. I always thought to get a balanced argument, you needed both sides of a story to then come to a decision. This doesn't happen in the Scottish courts when it is involving sexual crimes. Murov Doctrine was used to allow separate, unconnected allegations to be treated as corroboration for each other, even although there wasn't any physical evidence. This, in practice, leads to dangerous assumptions that if more than one person says an allegation, then it must be true. No evidence is needed and the defence is not allowed. I'd also like to touch on the subject of vigilante groups. I have been treated like a criminal. My crime was being a mum. When accusers no longer could get to my son, they targeted myself. I had personal information and pictures posted to these vigilante groups. In turn, they posted on their groups and shared lies. This had a big effect on my mental health. It does have an impact, and I think people need to be mindful when they're reading anything online that, is it true? Do they know for the facts? Do they know the full story? But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. My work details were shared online, which then not only was I fearing for my safety, I was also worried about my job, on what to expect when I was going into work. When I phoned the police, they come out and they said there's nothing they can do. There's nothing illegal with what was getting done, which I find barbaric. But I was told just to not read into anything too much. This is the judiciary system that we put our trust in. So basically, you can go to court and tell lies and you're protected. You can put lies on social media and you're protected if you're on the side of the accusers. if you're on the side of the accused, regardless to innocence or not, you are abandoned. You're abandoned by the judiciary system that let you down in the first place. And that is hard, cold facts. But as a family, we are fighting this, and we will continue to fight. And Kyle's story will be heard, and his voice is important. And I will fight for fair trials for this to happen. So, thank you for listening.